Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Clean Up and Speak. Or Clean Up Talk, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Clean Up Talk is better. I'm not really 100% sure. At first, it was going to be Garage Talk, but my microphone kept messing up while I was in the garage. And I was cleaning in the garage. And I came inside and started cleaning the kitchen. And so I was like, maybe it'll be kitchen talk. And then my earbud tried to fall out of my ear. And I pushed it back in and it ended the recording. Because, of course it did. And it was really interesting couple of hours that I've had. But, you know, that was the entire point of the videos was if you never put the first few bits of effort into trying to make things happen, then it's just never going to happen. You can be afraid of failure all you want, but if you never start, it's not like you're not going to fail to do it, because to fail to do something is to not do it. And I mean, if you're persistent enough, eventually it'll start to work. I mean, I made 5 videos about an hour worth of recording and an hour worth of reflecting on all the little mistakes that I made, because clearly it didn't work out, right? Well, if it's not working out, why continue? Well, eventually it's got to work. Statistically speaking, something can't go wrong every single time. And even if it could, I mean, what's the point of being so afraid of trying to do something that you let it prevent you from doing something that you really, really want to do, something that you've always thought was going to be something that you would like to do, you know? I mean, for me, personally, I want to spread my philosophy, and it's nothing crazy. And I mean, a lot of people would call this motivational speaking, but it's not. It's more just my thoughts on a variety of different matters, I guess, you know. And I'm not trying to speak for everybody. I'm just speaking from my experiences, my past, the recent events in my life. And I mean, it's been really interesting for me personally, because I had a back injury about 3.5 months ago, maybe just 3 months ago. It's really hard to tell when you're not really moving around a lot. You lose track of the time pretty quick. Plus, I was never great with time anyway. But, you know, it's one of those things where you can't just be afraid of failure simply because, you know. And I'm probably ranting a little bit, and that's fine. It's more or less the purpose of these videos is to just express how I feel about things. I'm sorry about the interesting coloration of my chair here. I have a cat, and she's prickled at it and prickled at it. It's, I don't know, it's sort of turned into a pattern. It went from just a few little missing spots to a bunch of missing spots to almost looking cool. And I guess that's nice. Maybe that's her dream, to redesign all my furniture. And you guys have a bunch of little holes and everything. Yeah. But, you know, like, there's a lot to talk about. And in my opinion, there's a lot of different subjects that aren't really covered by people that speak in a particularly human manner. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people that, I don't know, they sound very robotic. I know that I've said I don't know a lot, but it's just honesty. I don't know. I do not know exactly how to phrase everything. That's fine. I do know a lot of English. I know a lot of little things. But I also know that there's a whole lot that I don't know. And I'm more than happy to learn little bits and pieces every single day. And that's one thing about improving in any given situation is that first step, that start, you know, it's usually the hardest part for a lot of people. And much of the time, not most of the time, not every single time, I'm not going to generalize like that, you know. A lot of the time it's because people tend to try and tackle the hardest things first, the most difficult things first, so that they can kind of work their way down. Me, personally, I start with the easiest things first, so that I can, by the time that I reach my most difficult issues and most troubling problems and all that, once I reach the point where I'm really tackling any of that, I want to feel like I have done a lot. Because if you have already done that first 90% of small tasks, you know, because usually you've got a lot of small tasks, and then you've just got a few big ones. And sometimes you might have a bunch of big tasks, and that's rough. But if you start with the smallest things and work your way up, while the difficulty is increasing, you're also getting more done. If you start with the hardest thing, and you only get that one thing done, you got the hardest thing out of the way, but you haven't gotten anything else out of the way. Me, I'm hurt right now. I'm not at 100%. So I can't comfortably move this huge thing. We've been trying to get rid of this for years. but I can't pick it up right now. And we don't really have anywhere to put it. It's beautiful, but it's just not something that we want to hold on to. It's very heavy, and it takes a lot to move it. And I think that represents my point here very well. Clean up around it, move the littler things out, make way, and then tackle your biggest issue. And we have been putting this off for a long time. One, because we haven't found anyone that wants it, and two, because we don't want to just throw it away. It's a really nice looking piece of furniture. I'm sure that if you were to clean it up, get a few of these little marks off, or even just cover them up and then fill it in, paint over. Or even just do a finish, like strip off this finish and like restain it, everything like that. Anything of that sort would be a big improvement. And I don't want to see this thing become trash. It's the same general idea as if you never start, then that biggest task, that biggest potential victory for you, it might as well be trash. If you never start, then you'll never finish. And that's what I get out of this particular part of my life. We've delayed trying and getting certain things done because they're big tasks, and we just didn't want to start with them. So I'm starting small. I'm doing what I can with how I feel right now. My back hurts, but I can stand up, and with a straight back, it doesn't hurt. If I bend over too much, it starts to hurt. But I can sleep with a straight back. But I'm not lifting that right now. When I'm better, I might lift that. Probably not, but I might move it. Move it toward the front door, and let that be the first step in getting it somewhere else, giving it a new lease on life, or getting the task that is getting rid of this particular thing done. Anyway, that's my take on it. Welcome to the first episode.